Hey everyone, it's your pal Andrew here. Some of you may know me from my channel Collector Andrew or as Mystic's editor. Unfortunately, Mystic's recording mic broke this week before he was able to get audio recorded, so he's asked me to fill in for him. Now we'll be doing something a bit different. I figured we could talk a little bit more about the future of Pokemon. Let's be honest, even though Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are looking really good and even better than the originals in my opinion, they're not really reinventing the wheel with these games. However, E3 brought the announcement of the now in development main series Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch. While we know nothing of how the games will play or compare to previous generations, it's extremely safe to say that Game Freak will be utilizing the Nintendo Switch's hardware and its features to create a unique experience on the platform. So today I'd like to discuss what I want Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch to be like. First, let's get some obvious stuff out of the way. The 3DS was a good amount more powerful than its predecessor, and created a giant leap in terms of what Pokemon games looked like when going from Black 2 and White 2 to X and Y. I don't have any specific numbers, but it's fairly obvious to anyone that the jump from 3DS to the Switch will be an insanely larger leap. So, I would like and expect Game Freak to take advantage of this and give us a full HD 60 frames per second Pokemon game. Graphics aren't the most important thing in my opinion, but it's always nice to see developers utilize most aspects of the hardware they're working on. Now, based on past games, it might not be until Generation 9 that we see Game Freak push the Nintendo Switch to its absolute limits like they did with Gen 7 on the 3DS, but the results should definitely produce an absolutely beautiful Pokemon game that will stun us all. If you think Sun and Moon on Citra looks nice, you can expect an actual full HD Pokemon game to look even better on the Switch. Now, in terms of Switch-specific features, I'd like to see Game Freak utilize a good portion of them. Simple stuff like touchscreen controls when playing undocked should be no problem, but I'd like to see cooler things be used like Amiibos and HD Rumble. I know that some people don't like Amiibos because they basically act like DLC, but almost all of the time it's not necessary to buy them to get the full experience of the game, so you don't have to buy them. Plus, it's a nice bonus for people that like to collect figurines to get something extra as well. And while some may think of HD Rumble as an unnecessary gimmick, I say these people haven't truly experienced it. Most controllers use a normal Rumble with ERM motors, while HD Rumble uses LRA motors. All you really need to know from this is that it allows for the creation of more distinct and immersive feeling when the Rumble kicks in, such as the rolling in Tumbleseed where you can actually feel the tiny seed rolling around inside of the controllers, as well as feeling the metal on the platform that Mario lands on in Super Mario Odyssey. These vibrations are truly something else, and I believe Pokemon could definitely benefit from this by creating a realistic feeling from attacks and environmental effects. Imagine being able to feel the hydro pump coming from your Gyarados, or the sand lashing around in a desert area. I think this would help create a very alive world that you could truly feel yourself in. This leads in perfectly to my next point. What should the world be like? Now, from a personal standpoint, I'd love the region itself to be based on Mexico and other Latin American countries, but that's not really what I mean. I'm talking about the world in general. Since Breath of the Wild came out, a lot of people want every game going forward to be a massive open world like it was, and Pokemon is no exception to that list. However, it's not gonna happen. While he has said anything is possible, Masuda has also said that the Pokemon formula in its current state would not work with that kind of world, and they would need to have a good reason for the players to be in that kind of world with a brand new gameplay style. That said, it doesn't mean that it cannot be an open-ish world. For the most part, the games will still be linear. The main story progressing areas will still need to be accessed in order for the sake of story, but this does not limit the exploration and discovery of surrounding areas. So while there won't be much freedom of choice as far as story is concerned, having the freedom to do whatever before progressing towards the endgame I think is a great compromise. Another big thing I think they could add to make the world feel more alive is have more Pokemon in the overworld, including encounterable Pokemon. All of the 3DS games showed tiny steps in this direction, but the biggest thing was during the Mantine Ride minigame, where you have to weave and dodge Tentacool and Sharpedo. I want to see more of that, but everywhere. The occasional Pokemon flying overhead, Pokemon running around in the background, NPCs battling each other, and the like would really bring life to these games. But taking it one step further would be to have Pokemon that you can interact with and battle with in the wild. Now, I'm not saying replace random encounters, as that's a part of the Pokemon experience, but I think having a full 3D modeled Pokemon in the world would be pretty special. Perhaps with these Pokemon you have a good shot at getting good IVs, or even encountering shinies. That would definitely be some fun incentive to having them in the overworld. And finally, one of the biggest things I want from these games are them to have more RPG-like elements. With a larger, more expressive world should definitely come with some changes. I know not everyone will agree with me on this, but honestly I believe they should ditch the locked top-down camera we've always had and have a more traditional 3D camera in games like Dragon Quest or Zelda. They could still position the camera in a way that has the current Pokemon feel, but I just think it would be nice to be able to look around completely uncompromised. Additionally, I think having more side quests would extend the game's longevity apart from the main story. Game Freak has said that trials were basically a one-time thing for the Alola region, but I don't think that would stop them from implementing them as side quests from different NPCs. I would definitely like to see a fair amount of them as well, ranging from easy to hard, to keep them fun for new and young players, as well as providing a challenge for older veteran players. There are definitely a lot more things I would like to add to this list, but I honestly feel most of these wants are actually possible for the next games, rather than just being pipe dreams. So, thanks for watching everyone. I know most of you are probably more focused on Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon right now, but I think it's always nice to look towards the future, especially when big changes are coming. If you enjoyed the video and are excited for the future of Pokemon on the Switch, be sure to leave a like. And on that note, if you head over to my channel and subscribe, I should have a video this Friday discussing the potential release of the Pokemon Switch games. It actually might be coming sooner than you all think. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day.